Manchester City, meanwhile, safely through to the semi-finals once again at the FA Cup, 2-0 victory over Newcastle. Where do we start? Andy Carroll or Dwight Gayle's miss? Andy Carroll's beard is quite something, Craig.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about. Well, I am sure about that. It's not the best. But look, at the end of the day, Man City will always give you some chances, but they completely. I mean, it was so boring to watch because they were so dominant.
Yeah.
But you can understand that's what Newcastle tried to do. But ultimately, it was doomed for failure. And on top of that, you give away the soft penalty that Newcastle gave away. Complete madness against one of the best teams in the country that you can't get the ball off. It was always going to be a difficult afternoon.
Craig mentioned it though, Kasey. City will give you a chance. Dwight Gayle had that opportunity. Goodness me, what do you think about that tonight?
Yeah, no question about it. Particularly at 1-0, and as Craig said, if you think of what Steve Bruce put together to understanding who he was coming up against, you knew that they needed to defend with numbers, and then to give away the silly penalty when they did, but they still to keep it at 1-0 when it was a completely one-sided match. And Man City had so many little half chances with those little 1-2s inside the 18 that just didn't quite come off. And if you're going to beat Man City in a cup game, you need them to have one of those days where things just aren't quite coming off. And then here comes Dwight Gayle, second touch of the match, 6 yards out, side footer, and skies it over the bar to make it 1-1. And you would have thought, okay, Steve Bruce, the tactics were perfect. And then Raheem Sterling, and then there's the punishment of this game.
Yeah.
3 minutes later, Raheem Sterling cuts in on his right foot and makes it 2-0, and then it's done and dusted. But yeah, what an opportunity for Dwight Gayle to come off the bench, get that equalizer, and then really make Man City think. But for the most part, Craig was right. It was just, let's watch Man City play keep away and hope for the odd mistake, and Newcastle got their opportunity and they didn't take it.
So the semi-final lineup is set. Arsenal will take on Manchester City, Manchester United against Chelsea. Who's the final going to be between, Craig?
Well, clearly City will be favourites in their semi-final against Arsenal. Arteta's going to have to come up with something to try and thwart that hugely talented City side going forward. That being said, when Aubameyang's in the side and he will play if fit, they're going to give you chances. So they have got that hope. I just don't think it's going to be enough because themselves defensively, I don't think are going to be good enough. So I've got City from one side. I think the second game is much harder to call. I really do. But I'm going to go with my old club purely because I think they're the more cohesive of the two sides. Although United have looked better recently, I think Lampard has got some great options in the attacking third. And I'm going to go for a Chelsea-Manchester City final.
Kasey, United have beaten Chelsea 3 times already this season. Will they make it a 4th?
I don't know. I think so. But sometimes when you've beaten a team so many times, you kind of get overconfident. That team has something to prove, and they'll come in and maybe make something happen. But I think it's super tight. I think both teams are trying to figure themselves out. I think Chelsea, as Craig rightfully said, I think might be a little bit ahead of Manchester United in kind of getting their cohesiveness together. But I still have a funny feeling that Manchester United are going to come through and it's going to be an all-Manchester final at Wembley.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.